Good evening again. The early part of this evening's dinner was a little lost in filming. I think I pressed the wrong button and spent a good deal talking to myself and didn't accomplish much. However, just to kind of straighten everything out, tonight's dinner was a ribeye steak. It was a special recipe. It had olive oil, kosher salt, rosemary, and black pepper. So the steak was prepared. It was bought this afternoon from Publix, and unfortunately it was a little bit bigger steak than I normally would have done. However, that's okay. It just happens. I got there late and wasn't much of a selection, so I did grab a good steak, but it was thicker than I wanted, as we say. However, I prepared everything, and in the meantime, I also started a russet potato, which I knew it would take longer to cook, and I used a recipe for that too. So there was also common ingredients. So I was using the olive oil and the kosher salt on that, and that was part of that cooking process. Here's what happened. The olive oil and the grill did not get along very well, and as a result, the temperature rose pretty quickly, and the steak cooked very quickly, but it was at very high temperature. So, good news was got that in time, and the steak came in at medium, which is what I wanted it to be. Excuse me. Started feeling a tickle in my throat, and so no fault was lost on that. The steak smelled great, tasted wonderful, and worked out really well. So the unfortunate part of that happening, the steak cooking very quickly, is there isn't much you can do to make a potato cook quickly. So I really ended up eating my dinner in two parts. So steak was wonderful. Had to wait a while for the potato to be done, but the potato was equally wonderful. It would have been nice if they had been all together. But since it's just me and you and the video camera, probably doesn't much matter. My cooking partner, Sam, who's around here someplace, is not picky. He doesn't care where the food shows up, and just as long as it shows up. So my faithful pussycat has been with me through most of the cooking experience, and albeit he's been more excited about the salmon than he was about steak. But as he reminds me quite frequently, beggars can't be choosy. So if it's edible, he's going to try it. So anyway, I think it was a good night. I think the steak was really good. The potato was really good. Wine is always good. And we had another pretty good cooking experience. So I would say that all in all, doing okay with the wives away and with their mothers and on the beach in Mexico. So at least this guy in the neighborhood isn't starving to death. So that's good. So 2 dinners down. Won't be one tomorrow night because I have to do a city council meeting. But I will be back on Friday, and I'm going to do something with pasta. So I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do something with pasta. And I'm going to try to use the ingredients that are already here in the kitchen. So that's the plan. So if you're a glutton for punishment, join me. So we'll see you then or down the road somewhere. Thank you for wasting your very valuable time listening to me. Good night. Okay, so we're back. I'm now going to take the baked potato out. It should be going off here in a couple moments. I've got about 1:27 left. So the steak has been prepared to go outside. You can see it has the olive oil, it has the rosemary, It has pepper, and it also has salt, so kosher salt. So the steak is all ready to go. I will keep most of these ingredients with me, and I'll probably add a little bit as I watch things cook. But basically with the steak, it's going to be about 4 to 5 minutes on each side. So what I'm going to do is start that process when we get to the, maybe the 10-minute period with the baked potatoes, so everything comes out at roughly the same time. So we're down to about 40 seconds on the timer. As it turns out, I did buy the salad, or the lettuce for the salad, over the weekend, and I think I left it in the refrigerator too long because it's it looks like it's turned a little bit. So probably not going to do the Caesar salad because it's clearly did not work out too well. So I take a look at it in a little while and see how it's doing. But I think we might skip and just go with the baked potato and the steak. So anyway, sounds like the baked potato is ready to be moved and go on to the next step. Okay, we'll set this. Whoops. All right, I wanted the timer there. Not the turning it on, but I'm just trying to get it ready for the next step. Okay, I'm gonna reach in. Let me put the potato right there. Whoop. It's a potato that wants to roll around a lot. Okay, so here's what we're going to do with the baked potato. You have a choice of using essentially a butter, melted butter, or a olive oil. And since we already have olive oil out and prepared, I think I'm just going to continue using the olive oil. We'll use the butter a little bit later because that's part of the steak experience. So I think that would help, and that way we're using all the ingredients, but I think it's easier just to put on olive oil than it is necessarily to melt butter just for that case. And although I'll probably end up doing it anyways for the steak, but what the hell. So the baked potatoes looking very good, and so there also calls on, strangely, for kosher salt as well. So I'm going to add some kosher salt to the outside to give it a little bit of flavoring when we get there. And okay, we're ready for the second bake. So let me take this over here. And what I'm going to do, just to make things interesting, I am going to turn it over so that we cook it evenly. All right, it's in again, and it's for, get the timer, and off we go. All right, now it's time to take a look at what's going on over at the grill. All right, so I'm gonna carry you over, but right now I'm gonna shut you off so that I don't make you seasick. Okay, so we're ready for the steak. As you can see, it likes the grill. A little more olive oil on here. I'm gonna blow myself up, so make sure we do a good job with that. Okay. A little more salt on there. This is the other side that I haven't done yet. It'll be down in a moment. Ah! Sounds like I have a guest next door. he wants to join in. Cheese. All right, and we're just going to cover that over. And the most important part of that is that, let's get back here with me. The bigger part of that right now is our little friend here, the meat thermometer. And we'll be using that here in a little while to make sure that when we are turning the steak, and we know what temperature it's at. So very, very important. So hang tight. I'm going to be right back. Well, I have the steak left. The sitting down, the steak is finished. It looks very good. Move this over a little bit. Steak came out very well. It's charred. It looks great. It smells great. I pulled a little piece off for you so you can see it. It is medium well, which are medium to medium well, depending on what piece you take. And it is very tasty. So I will go back and tell you that it cooked very fast. And I think using the oil was probably oil was not a good idea. I think it just increased the flames and increased the char, and it made it cook faster. So not a problem. The food is great. It tastes wonderful. I think the butter, which was the other option, was probably a better idea. However, it tastes really good. The only problem right now is that I'm off timing. The baked potato, I just checked it a few minutes ago, and it is still needs some time. So you can see the timer is going off right now. So I'm going to go for another 5 minutes or so on the baked potato, and then I'll be back with that in a minute. Well, it's been another 10 minutes. I jumped in and I ate my steak because it tasted so good and it was cooling off while we were waiting for the baked potato to show up. And I decided to do my duty and to eat the steak, and it was really good. So while I learned a couple lessons in terms of how to cook it, I will tell you that the recipe was good. It tasted wonderful. Rosemary made a very big difference in the taste, and I love the kosher salt, and the pepper was good, but I'm not a big pepper guy to begin with. However, that being said, it was pretty good. Now, I had to wait for the potato to be done because it took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take. But it allowed me to do one thing that I always want to do if I have the time to do it, and that is to clean up as I go. So I was able to clean up some pots and pans and put things away into the dishwasher and get cleaned up a little bit. Clean off the surfaces. You know, you get meat and get, raw meat. You have cooked meat. You have all sorts of things on the surface. So it's always a good idea before you introduce another food to go in and do a thorough cleaning, which I had a chance to do, including me. So it was very good. Now, the potato is done. I'm gonna tilt that down a little bit so you can see it. It's a big potato, and it came out. It's a russet potato. It came out really well. It has the kosher salt on the outside, which I like the taste of because I like salt, but too much salt, my wife says. But it really does kind of add a little bit to it, and I've already put some butter on it. I'm going to put some salt on it inside it, and we'll see how that goes. So I'm going to give that a try. The good news is that even after all that time, and it was a lot more time, the inside of the potato is soft and the correct color. It tastes really good. So the potato came out really nicely. So I had a really good steak. I'm going to come back up again so I don't end up being the Hunchback of Notre Dame here. Okay. Okay, so all in all, what did we learn? The steak was excellent. It was a really nice piece of meat. Came from Publix across the way. It was a bigger piece than I wanted. Okay, but it was good. It was a good, it was a good ribeye, and it was boned in, and it was very good. It was very tasty. The olive oil, the rosemary, the salt and pepper, all of which combined to make it very, very good and give it a couple of different types of taste profiles as well as I ate through it. So it was really very good. I would certainly cook that again. I would have a smaller piece this time, and I'd go easy. I think I'd do it in butter versus using the oil. The oil was too much. It was with the heat in the grill. It was just too much, and it made it flare up. Once it flared up, I didn't have control of the cooking time. So I was able, thankfully I had the thermometer, so I was able to tell that it was done, it was ready. It just got ready really fast. So, caught that one. Okay, the potato, on the other hand, same thing, russet potato from over at Publix. It's a good size, it looks great, it smells very good. It took a long time to cook it. So I'm going to keep that in mind in the future too. But I do like the fact that the olive oil is on the outside. It gives the skin a flavor in itself, and it's got a kind of a crunchy feel, which is kind of good too. So you're getting kind of both profiles. So I have to say, dinner was a success, and I'm going to play with the recipe a little bit and see if I can get it all to come together. But that's for another night. Tomorrow night I will be away, so I will not have an opportunity to do one movie for you. But on Friday night, I was kind of hoping to do a pasta night, so maybe what we'll do is we'll play around with pasta a little bit and see what interesting stuff we can come up with. Okay, that's it. Bon appetit and good night.